everybody, welcome back to my garage. I'm working on the 46 Ford, of course. It's getting really close. It's drivable now. I've actually had it out on the road for just a quick trip, actually, to the gas station, put some fuel in it. But we had some issues, which I fixed. The blinker quit working, and that was due to this unit right here. The bulb, the indicator bulb actually fell out of its socket and was blocking the lever, so I couldn't get it to go down far enough to make the blinker work on one side. But it's working now. And the charging whirler quit working, and that was simply because an internal bolt backed off that held the stud in place. And so I took the alternator apart and fixed that. So that's done. But one of the things I really like about this truck that I thought was kind of cool was it had an emergency brake handle that just stuck up right here. And it's long, and you grab it, push a button, pull, and puts on the emergency brake. And I thought that was really cool. It just looked cool sticking up here. And I wanted to use this and put it back up there again. It actually still functions like it's supposed to. Clicks into place, functions back and forth. This is where the cable would hook onto. But I had some issues down here where it mounts. This is the panel that goes over this area, and it had a big gaping hole right here where somebody carved on it. I have since patched that hole, so now it has the stock brake hole there where it was, and this is where the shifter goes. It used to go up here, but now it's down here. And we need to put it all back together. And being that I have a Super Duty axle in the back, and I have this attachment up here, we're going to have to do some modifications to make cables work. I'm actually going to use Super Duty cables to this point, and then I'll have to figure out how to mount it here, because it just uses a cable with a ball on the end of it, and I need a clevis here. So we'll have to figure out how to hook that up, and you'll see that. But right now I need to get this plate mounted in. I need to get the brake handle mounted, and of course it's got a modern transmission in it, and this mounted to the old 3-speed overdrive transmission, and it's not going to mount to the modern transmission at all. So I've built a bracket underneath, pretty simple, mounts to the transmission cross member, and I'll show you that when I get down there. But we're gonna have to install this on there underneath, install this on here, figure out how we're gonna bring that big old plug up through this. It was sticking through right here, and this is for the O2 sensor, by the way. It was sticking through here, but that's because there was no brake lever there. Now with a brake level, it can go through there, but it'll get pinched, so we got to do something different to that. So I'm gonna figure that out and get to working on it. I think I've decided on what I'm gonna do with this. This is that piece that covers the hole in the center of the console, or where the console would be in the truck, and I have to run that O2 sensor up through there, and it's got a huge plug on it. It's 1.5 inches. I measured it with my calipers, so it's going to take 1.5 inch hole to get that plug to come through. And you're probably thinking, isn't there a smaller end somewhere? And the answer is no. The O2 sensor is the smallest component on there, and I could possibly pull that out of the pipe and make a slightly smaller hole, but I think I've got the solution the way it is. And I don't want to pull the O2 sensor back out. So I was going to utilize this stock. This is a hole, it was their stock, and also there's a small hole right here that had an adjustable foot bumper on it, so you could rest your foot on it when you had your throttle in the right place. Kind of like old style cruise control. You can adjust the height of the bumper, and then your gas pedal is right next to it, so just adjust it to the height you want. That's That's where you set your cruise. But that was rusted in place and broke when I tried to remove it, so that isn't working. This was an existing hole. I don't know what it was used for. I had it plugged with a rubber plug, and that's what's going to go right back in it. My initial thought was to use this great big drain plug and make the hole bigger, put it right there, and just run that big plug up through there. But the wire is just, I mean, it will work. I can get that plug through here, but it's going to be sticking straight up like that. I mean, it's right at the end of the wire. So it's going to be sticking straight up like that, and I want it to lay flat so I can put the, you know, the mat over it and that kind of thing. I want it to turn and lay flat. So this, I'm just going to put another flush plug right there, and that'll be that for that. I do have two body plugs. This is for a Mustang 67, 68, maybe earlier models too, maybe later, I don't know. And this is the same thing, but it's thicker. It's got a thicker flange. This will fit up to probably a 3/16 inch thick piece of metal. This one will fit like, I don't know, 16th, probably 20 gauge, 22 gauge. So we're going to use one of these plugs, whichever one works the best. They're both 1.5 inches, so exactly the size we need. So the inside diameter will be a tight fit, but I think I can push it through the rubber plug and then push the rubber plug into place. And we're just going to cut, you know, an X pattern in here so it comes up and then it'll mostly close, and we'll use seam sealer to close it up. It will work. But we're going to drill it right here. This is where the parking brake will come through, handle. Shifter's over here. This will get plugged. We're going to stick that right there because that will give us enough wire coming through to just lay it flat. So I'm going to get an 1.5 inch drill bit and punch a hole. We'll probably use this one because it's nice and flexy. This one is a little stiff and brittle. It's old. Let's get to it. Oh, I did make my patch by using CAD. I just cut a piece of cardboard out that fit the hole I'd trimmed here, and you can kind of see that's where the patch is, right here. All right, we actually don't need that piece of CAD anymore. It's a one-time use. Don't need the body hammers I was beating on it with, so we can put those back. And let me get an 1.5 inch drill bit. My drill bits aren't terribly organized. I keep them all in a, I don't know, this was windshield wiper fluid. 2 inch, too big, way too big. Some of these, there we have an 1.5 inch right there. It's missing a tooth. Let's see if we can find an 1.5 inch that doesn't have a missing tooth. Too big for sure. Too small. Man, I'm using one with a missing tooth. You just have to run it faster, right? So it skips over the missing tooth. 1 3/4 inches. Yeah, we're going to use one with a missing tooth. I need a drill and a plug. We'll swipe them right out of that one. That's got a little wobble to it. We're going to make a hole a little bit bigger than 1.5 inches. And I'm really, it doesn't have to be perfect any place here. Just so I can get that right about where I want it. About there would be good. So let's stick it right about there when we're drilling. Let's see if we can make that happen. Now, as soon as I punch through this, I'm going to put some cutting fluid on it. That'll help protect my already destroyed drill bit, my hole cutter. we go. Ow. Throwing some very hot pieces of metal. That's to be expected. And with it already 95 and going to reach 103 today, I'm not dressing up for this. I'm just waiting for it to grab. In fact, I think I'm going to put this on the drill press, because when it grabs this, it's going to try to twist this thing around, and I just want to be in control of my drill when that happens. So, moving to the drill press. There we go. That's going to be beautiful. All right. I feel much more in control of the material and the drill this way. There we go. There's a nice clean hole. Let's get the vacuum and clean it up. There we go. The back side probably needs a little bit of cleaning. Mainly it just looks like the undercoating's on it. But we're going to move back to the bench and well, dang it, just like that you guys ran out of battery. But we're here on the bench. The noise you hear is my air conditioner running. I had it off earlier so you could hear me better, but it's getting hot in this garage, so that's a evil necessity now. Let's get the tap oil back. I'm going to see if I can get this flexible one to fit. It's getting there. Oh yeah. So there we go, that grommet fits in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the X right in here, and I'll actually push the, well, you'll see it. Let's go do it. We got the floor pan, we got a plug in here, we got the hole, we got this hole for the O2 sensor, this one's for the brake handle, which is sticking up right here. I've got the shifter bolted on, because that has to get bolted on before you put this in there. Originally it wasn't that way because the transmission wasn't in it, so that was easy. But now that's got to happen first. The shifter's got to be bolted on. All right, and you feed the cable through. And keep feeding it through. Keep feeding it through. The good thing is this shifter actually doesn't sit under this cover. Now let's see if we can get the brake handle to stick through. It's just sitting in there, it's not actually bolted yet. There we go. Things are moving. One of the biggest problems with fitting all this down in here is the back of the shifter tries to interfere with the hump right here. So I'm going to have to get that straightened out. There's the O2 sensor. That's good. Here's the other end of it. Let's put that out of the way. And I got the brake pedal there. I gotta get, or the gas pedal, I gotta get on the right side of the whole shebang here. Probably should have done that before I did that. Can you guys even see? Is it dark? I got a light on that thing. Let me turn it on. All right, I'm gonna have to work it up a little bit and then get it around the gas pedal. I forgot about that before I got it over the brake handle. So let's get that off. There we go. I can't see what's going on that side. So there we go. I think this is working better-ish. All right, I can see the shifter cable is having all sorts of fits over there with the side of the tunnel. So I just need to get that worked over far enough. What is it called? Probably a vent tube or something. There's two of them up there. One for the tranny, one for the transfer case. Yeah, it's hitting the vent tube. Let's try to get it over the top of that. Oh, come on. It's just rubber. There we go. There it is. All right. Getting closer. Let me get mad and pound on it in a minute. That always helps. No, it doesn't. Let's see. It's so close. So close. I always tell myself I'm putting these things together so they're easy to work on. But then you go and try to put new stuff in old stuff, and oftentimes the old stuff makes for a tight fit. And the new stuff makes for a tight fit on the old stuff. Or vice versa, however you want to look at it. But right now, oh, there it goes. I grabbed my finger when it did that. Right now we have success. A little bit of the insulation up here being pinched. Get that out of the way if we can. I don't really mind it being pinched, but there we go. Oh shoot. Well, I should be able to push that up through the hole. Let's find out. You guys watch this hole right here. Oh, it's dark under here. You guys see anything? Get up there. Yes. All right. That's up there. All right, we've got some success there. The brake handle, of course, is going to come up a lot further. I was going to cut a hole in this and try to push this through, but I think I'll just slice it, you know, about halfway, and then just put it around there, and that'll be good. That'll be good. I'll actually punch a hole right here with a hole punch, and that way the wire can sit right in the center of that hole, and everything else should be sealed good enough for who it's for. This is what I was talking about as a punch. It's got a hole in it, sharp little bevel, and can you see this down here? This is the rubber plug. I'm just going to set it right in the middle of it, or somewhere close-ish. Whack it with a hammer and put a hole in it. Now just one little slice from here to there with an X-Acto knife, and it'll be done. Man, it'd be nice if had somebody follow you around with the camera so you can see everything, but I don't know that's really necessary at the moment. I'm just going to go right through the whole grommet. Almost. There we go. So it'll go around the wire, it'll get plugged in the hole, and that should keep it pretty well closed. Let's go find out. All right, let's do this. Let's get this around the hole, around the cord. There we go. And then let's work it into its home. Sweet home. I felt it just drop right in. There we go. That is going to work wonderful. Here's the other end of it. There we go. Secure that under the mat, and that is done. We're calling that good. All right, next thing is get this mounted up, and we'll be doing that from the bottom. It's dark, tight, you won't be able to see anything, so I'll just show it to you when we're done. And then we got to put the rubber mat in here, which I trimmed to absolute perfection. No, it's an ugly job, but it'll work for who's it for and for what's it for, and I'll show you that when we're putting it in. So let me get this done. Lots and lots of screws. Well, might have made this patch just a little too tight. The brake arm is hitting the edge of this, and I've already got it in here. I've got this threaded through, zip tied in where I want it underneath. I got the cable in. I think I'm just going to take a grinder and make this hole a little bit bigger. These screws aren't quite lining up. I mean, it's like 1/8 of an inch. Very close. It'll make a mess in here, but once it gets down here, it's clearing just fine. It's just up here. So I think I'll just come in here with a metal burr, throw metal shavings all over in here, widen this out, maybe make a mark with a mark slot, and yeah, make a mess of it, and then clean it up, and hopefully it'll be good. So get that happening. Here we are. Burr grinder. See how far up it goes. Ready? I'll start right here. Cut out all the way down through my weld. That'll be fun. All the way down to the bottom. So let's make some noise. Maybe get some more light in here too, if this flashlight will work. Yep, there we go. Throwing burrs. All those burrs, the screwdriver's magnetic, so it picks up all of them. Picks them up all over the place. These two are a little off, but I think it's more the holes that are off than anything else. Because I can see the pan is sitting correctly in its space where it's supposed to sit. You can see that because of the way it is. The way that it sits down within the flange here. Yep, that one just drops in, makes it look like there's a screw in there. I like it. All right, we can cinch them all down now. They're all in there. This whole plate's going to get covered by the mat, and actually probably some sound deadening material too, because the rest of the truck has sound deadening all over it. That one's stripped, there's no doubt. Just get it snug and quit. It's not cross-threaded though, because there's no threads in there. All right. There we go. I said all right again. Count them. Count the number of times I say it. Okay, there we go. I'll get this all cleaned up, vacuum out all the metal shavings, and then we'll put the mat back in, and some jute and some sound deadener and all of this other stuff needs to go on there. Found it. Oh, hey, you're back. I lost my tape. We got the mat in. A lot of the holes weren't where they're supposed to be. And now granted, I've modified this truck immensely, but the steering column is still where it's supposed to be, or where it was originally, and that hole is about 3 inches away up. The two bumper holes that were for the brake and clutch, or brake and clutch bumpers, they're gone now because they're where the steering column is. They were too high too. The original shifter hole, that's in about the right place. But I got some two-sided tape here because this thing is way too wide, and I had to split it to get this all to mount right where I wanted it. So I'm going to put this two-sided tape right down here. Maybe I'll get it straight. Maybe I'll just lay it in there crooked. There we go. And I'm just going to use it to glue these two pieces down, two edges down. It's outdoor style of tape, 3M. Should do the job. Getting the backing off it's always the problem. There, I got it. I got it. Yes. Got that out of there. Now let's lay these two down nice and close, or gap them. It doesn't really matter. All right, there. There was no hole for the brake, and this is an original brake handle. So there should have been a hole for the brake handle. There wasn't. And I've trimmed at least an inch off each side because it was just way too freaking wide. But we got it in. There it is. Shifter. This is the four-wheel drive shifter. So you can put it in too high, where it is now, neutral for high, and it's actually too high for high, neutral for low. Got the brake handle here. It'll work great when we get the brake cables and get them hooked up to it. I need a boot for both of these, so if you guys know of a small boot that would work for those, let me know. But that's it for the interior, really, except for a radio, which I'm planning to kind of stick underneath the seat eventually. So you'll see that when it happens. Work on your stuff, guys. Be safe. Catch you later.